Well, now to a story that we have been following all afternoon. Andrew James Hall, that's the man wanted for questioning in the murder of a Detroit woman and an attack on another woman at a Troy Target last week, is now in custody. He was arrested at Telegraph Road and Midway Avenue, just north of Ford Road, by Dearborn Heights Police. Troy police just announced charges related to his attack outside of the Target. They include unlawful imprisonment, attempted carjacking, and assault with intent to do great bodily harm. We're still working to get you the latest details on this story. But joining us now to give us more insight into this is the former Detroit Police Assistant, Steve Dolunt. Steve, what all happens with trying to, I guess, time is often of the essence, right, when you're looking for people like this. And it's got to be so much more difficult when they're going from city to city to city. How do the police navigate that?
Well, at first, it wasn't a murder at first. It was the felonious assault of the woman in Troy. So the question is, did Troy get fingerprints? How did they identify this individual so quick? Or did Detroit identify this individual? So Troy was looking at, was there a pattern in that area? Was there a pattern in the outlying suburbs in that area of this individual? Then, this morning, Detroit gets a police run on a deceased individual. In the videotape, because there's videotape everywhere, he's wearing the same clothes. My initial reaction was this. She was found at 300 West Nichols, correct?
Right.
Which is Woodward with Nichols, around the border of Detroit Highland Park. At first I thought, well, maybe this is a hate crime because that has a large transgender population, and maybe he was upset with one of the transgender individuals. I don't know the status of the first woman who was assaulted. But then again, maybe it could have just been a woman. He has an anger problem with women. Also, at that area, it's a high area of prostitution. So, there's all these different avenues to follow. Was this woman a prostitute? Was he angry? But he approached on a bike, am I correct?
It seems something like that. Now, the details on all of that have been a little bit limited, but we're going to talk more about that in just a second.
Okay.
We have some microphone issues going on. So now, yes, we're going to bring Dale Brown into the conversation. You, sir, are an expert on self-defense. One thing that did happen in this case, the woman, a good Samaritan, is said to have jumped in after she was forced into her car. Is that a dangerous type of thing?
Absolutely. And what she did, the great thing is that I heard she grabbed the gun and pushed the gun away. If that's the same situation?
Yeah, we believe so. And it's like I was just telling Steve, the issues right now, or the details are so limited that I'm not completely sure.
Absolutely. Well, I brought a facsimile here. This is a air gun to give an example of what you should do if you ever encounter a firearm. Number one, if it's pointed at you and you can comply, if you believe they're not going to harm you, go ahead and comply. If you believe your life's in danger, it's the only time you should actually try to resist under exigent circumstances, meaning if you do not believe you're going to be fine, then hey, there's something that can save your life. Number one, you always grab the front of the weapon. Anytime there's a weapon involved, you grab the front of it. This gives you leverage. So if you're much smaller than the person that has the weapon, you can still control the muzzle, which means you control the gun. And you redirect it away from you, and now you've increased your survivability. So most importantly, grab the front of the weapon. And if it's this kind of weapon, a semi-automatic weapon, you're going to push the slide to the rear. And if it ever is in close quarters, which is most situations, and now it's out of battery, which means it cannot fire. So
I just feel like for someone like you, of course, for someone like me, even the audacity and the nerve to grab a weapon like that and try to push it back, can that sometimes, Steve, spell disaster?
If you do it in that way, no. The idea is to push it away from yourself.
If I could have him behind me,
yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd feel fine.
No, but he's right. Get the threat away, push the threat away from you. Because if you don't, they're right at you. He's right. Push it down, push it away, grab it so that it won't.
So the muzzle, yep.
Right. Yep. Where's the red thing on the end to show it's a facsimile firearm?
Oh, that's an air gun. So
it's an air gun.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at this like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, okay, it's an air gun. Yeah, you want to try it?
No, I'm good.
Well, you know, just remember, in general, women, children, and senior citizens rescue themselves every day just by trying. And what they did try to do to save themselves often work just because of an accident. But that's why we teach things that are very simple and very practical. If you remember that you grab the barrel of the weapon instead of the hands, you'll be able to control the weapon. And this happens, this means a very primal thing. You're just grabbing the front and pushing it away from you, and make sure there's nothing in front of the barrel. So as long as you move it to the front of the barrel first, grab the weapon and push it away from you, you have increased your survivability dramatically.
So when you hear about people accidentally shooting themselves in those incidents, they probably reached for the hand, not the barrel.
Normally they didn't reach for anything. A lot of times people are just literally complying, and then unfortunately they're dying. And so what we want to do is encourage people to only resist if they believe they're in danger, if they believe this person wants more than just the physical items. They don't want their car, they want their life. You know, you can't go to a secondary location. Pretty much when they're pushing the woman into the car, it's because they're taking her somewhere. And in that case, some women have even just kept going through the car, some men as well. They just go right through the car. If someone's pushing you in the car, go right through, keep moving. If you can't, then of course you're gonna have to fight for your life. And that's where understanding close quarters biomechanics and also how to make weapons not function is vital for your survivability.
Steve, in instances like that, is there anything that the person would need to be concerned about, like maybe it was a toy gun, or you know, could you at all be charged or face any charges if something happens in this supposed incident?
Me as the victim?
Yeah.
No, because I'm in fear of my life. That looks like a real gun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and a facsimile firearm is supposed to have a little red tip on the end to show you it, but a criminal takes that off. So you don't know that, so you're in fear of your life. So if you happen to be armed and you do your thing, that's self-defense. There's nothing they can do to you. You genuinely fear that, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's any three of us. They put a gun at you,
Yeah.
you're going to be scared, unnerved, and you do what you have to do.
Yeah. And we were talking a little bit earlier, with the police kind of being tight-lipped right now about so much, what instances would lead them to, or in the past, would it lead you to not say as much?
I don't understand why they're not giving out as much information unless there is an accomplice, unless there are other crimes that are associated with this. Because he went from Troy to Detroit, right? And didn't change his clothes for 3 days. And he was on a bike in Detroit, and then he ends up in a neighborhood that used to be high crime, but mostly it's prostitution. And again, there's a large transgender population. That's why I initially thought maybe it was a hate crime. Do we know anything about the victim that was found deceased? Have they really said anything about that?
Not much. The woman from the Target did post on Facebook and some mom groups and whatnot. So we do know a little bit about her, but again, that's not from the police, that's from social media.
And again, I'm wondering if this guy has a problem with women.
Exactly.
Now, could have been a crime of opportunity. She's in a parking lot, but it's a busy parking lot.
It's a Target, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I know that a lot of women leave their purse on the passenger side, so it's an easy smash and grab or whatever. But he beat her in the face with a gun, didn't he?
So I heard something like that, and then I heard she pushed it away, and then someone came by and
That's
kind
what I
of
wonder
distracted, and she
if
ran
Troy
away.
was
Yeah.
able to get like fingerprints off the car.
Right.
How do they identify this guy so quick? And I know there's facial recognition. I don't know if that was Detroit, Troy, whatever. Great police work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, all
absolutely.
three agents were, it's just like with last week with Trice.
Yeah.
Great police work.
Yeah, thank you. Well, after the break, we're going to talk some more about those survival instincts with Dale. But for now, our new series, The Age of AI, is ahead. We'll look at how artificial intelligence is taking movie magic to a whole nother level. And to all of our friends watching in Novi, we are always on your block around the clock in your neighborhood, finding the stories that matter to you and your family. Stay with us. Thanks for streaming on the CBS News app and Pluto TV. We'll be right back.
I don't know if there's been a better time to start a brand new news operation.
The newsroom was pretty much starting from scratch.
It's fresh, it's innovative.
Lots of energy, lots of passionate reporters.
Knowing what we're starting here puts so much joy in my heart.
We have reporters who are embedded in these communities.
Many people throughout St. Clair Shores have been fighting to save this water tower.
If there's a miracle out there, get a hold of me.
We are part of the neighborhood. Our newsroom is part of your neighborhood.
Residents here on Stansbury say they are fed up with all this flooding that keeps happening.
We shouldn't have to live like this.
Telling the stories that otherwise nobody would know about.
Now, AJ, you went to the downtown boxing gym and you really got to see how this gym is impacting kids' lives.
Yeah, Chris, as soon as I walked in the building, it was very uplifting.
It's a boxing gym, but it's more than boxing. You know, we do homework. We help them with the SAT.
When it comes to the weather, it's forecasting what's going to fall on your driveway, when is it going to happen, and how might it actually affect your day-to-day life?
Hundreds of people continue to call in reporting problems throughout the county.
Cleanup crews working all throughout Metro Detroit.
Get them down and get them cleaned up.
Local news to me means we're in your community, we're telling stories that matter to you, that affect you, that maybe we can get change and things done in your community.
She was born without a right arm, and then her legs didn't grow, I guess, the way that they should have.
But for 20-year-old Fortin High School alum Sumaya, she doesn't let that, or anything else for that matter, get in her way.
So you have a favorite button over there?
Yeah, you want to press it?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and...
This is my favorite.
I hope everyone watching that piece in particular says, I want to help that little girl and help that family and help get her to college.
Well, we're rethinking the way local news is done in the 21st century and how to tell the most important stories in a compelling way.
You can get news anywhere, but for us, we're a fresh face with a new perspective, and we're trying to make a difference in the community to tell stories that matter to you.
I think we're here to listen and actually hear what you're saying, and we're putting together a newscast that will show that.
I want to tell those people's stories because it's needed. Detroit is ready. Get ready, because here we come.
Reporting in Dearborn Heights.
Live in Wayne County. Reporting in Adrian.
Live in Livonia.
Reporting from South Lyon, Kelly Vaughn.
CBS News Detroit.
You're watching CBS News Detroit.
Either or. Welcome back. We are going to talk some self-defense now with Dale Brown, who is an expert in that area. So I'm in a Target parking lot. Something like this happens. What can I do?
Well, first thing you want to do is be aware of your surroundings, of course, and you want to avoid anything that looks odd or suspicious. So a lot of times people will say, you know, we deal with victims a lot, and they'll say, well, I saw something strange, but I still went to my car, I still went over there, you know, I thought something was odd. Well, once you see something's odd, just stay away from it and find an alternative thing to do to, you know, get escort to your vehicle. Simply go do some more shopping, come back later. If you still see that odd thing, then that's probably not right. So, such as a van being next to your vehicle.
Yeah.
One of the things the criminals do is also set in motion things to take advantage of you. So you'll come outside, your tire is flat on your vehicle, and then they'll come up and say, well, you know, I can help you with that out of the blue. So that's one of the things to do is they'll set in motion things to actually entrap you. So things to think about is that violent criminals are very conniving and cunning. So they're not going to be just looking bad. They'll look like nice people a lot of times.
Yeah.
So that's how they're able to blend in as well.
Yeah, which is scary stuff. So a weapon gets introduced.
Yes. So anytime you're dealing with a weapon, especially like this is a semi-automatic pistol, that means there's a slide here.
Yeah.
Anytime you're dealing with that, what you want to do is you want to push the slide to the rear to get in close contact. And the reason why that's important is because violent criminals will get very close to you.
Yeah.
They'll be in your car. They'll be, you know, when they attack you, it's going to be very close. And if it's not at first, it's going to be soon, because that's how they're going to take advantage of you. They have to get right at contact of you to control you, so you can't run away or pull out a weapon yourself.
Okay.
So anytime that happens, there's 3 ways to stop this kind of a gun from firing.
Okay.
And that is, 1, you push the slide to the rear like this. So you push that to the rear, it's out of battery.
Okay.
So if I pull the trigger now, air comes out.
Okay.
And you push that, nothing comes out.
Okay.
Yep, so that means that in real life, if you push this back, it's not going to fire.
Yeah. Okay.
And if it did fire and you were holding it, nothing's going to happen to your hand by pushing it away from you. Make sure there's nothing in front of the barrel. So you push it away from you. And when you pull the trigger one time, it's not going to be able to fire again because it's out of battery. And what happens is when you fire it one time and it's got a round in there, it can't take out the old round. So it means that now they have to cock the weapon to fire it again.
Okay,
so
so
this is
then
very
they'd
important
have,
information. Correct. So this is what happens in the worst case scenarios when they're in close contact. They're in the vehicle, like this person that was at the mall, or at the store. She was in the vehicle with him. So in that case, you know, she's going to be at contact with the weapon. And if you think about it, she's being taken somewhere. There's no way that he's going to let her go. The reason why he has her in the car is he's going to do something terrible to her.
Yeah.
So in that case, she has to fight for her life. And holding the barrel here, watch this. Push the barrel right here. Grab that. Now just hold the whole thing. Yep. Now watch. I'm going to push this towards you. Okay. Push it away. So,
yep.
You can't push it towards you. Now watch this. Put your hand right here. Yep. So if I put your hands. So watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Goodness.
So as long as you grab the barrel, you control the weapon.
Yeah.
And if you push the gun and push it back towards me, push it this way, the barrel this way. Yep.
Oh, and now it's gone back.
So anytime you push the barrel and you push it back, you can now take the weapon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So if someone has the weapon at you,
Yeah.
what you would do first is move your head out of the way.
Move, step, and pull.
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
But don't keep the barrel back like
That was
I
very
did.
fast. She learned very fast. That was amazing. So all you're doing is grabbing here and turning it away from you and your family.
So now what if there's no gun, there's a knife?
And if you are dealing with a knife, there's very simple ways to remove the knife from the hand. Watch this. Close your hand right there.
Okay.
Close hard. Okay. So to get the knife out of your hand, push the thumb in like this. And they'll give you the knife.
Yes, they will.
That's one.
And probably their wallets
Yes.
too.
And another way to do it is take your hand, the palm side of your hand on the side of the blade, and hold tight.
Yeah.
Yep. Comes right out.
Wow. Yeah.
So all you're doing.
That's a little bit more simple stuff.
Yes. And all you do is take your palm like this and push straight down. Yes.
Oh, because the thumb.
Yes.
Again. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it rips
now,
right out.
If it's just brute force, obviously, I couldn't go up against you toe to toe, even on my best day.
In fighting, but in survival, it's not the same. So your fingers have fingernails.
Yes.
You take a fingernail and put it in any man's eyes, he's going to close his eye and he's going to run away immediately.
Yeah.
It's very painful. A bug in the eye can stop a man from going forward.
Okay.
So a finger in the eye stops the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
So imagine your finger with a nail on it going right into someone's eye. I don't care how strong they are going to leave you alone.
Yeah.
So what you need to think about, if your life's in danger, you're only going to strike the eyes, the throat, the knees. And remember, the fingers are very vulnerable as well. So someone tries to put their hand over your mouth, you rip the fingers back, you bite the fingers, they will let you go.
Yeah. And if somebody gets you in a bear hug type situation.
Yes. And sometimes the only thing you're going to have is one hand free. So in that case, you're going to have to go to the eyes, the throat, the groin, ripping down the groin, going to the throat, going to the eyes. And that, therefore, doesn't matter how strong they are to you or if they're out of your weight class.
Yeah.
They can be much larger than you, it won't matter because the eyes are always going to be vulnerable. The throat's always going to be vulnerable.
If someone's not comfortable with the physical aspect of it, what kind of tools can they get to give themselves a fighting chance?
Well, that's what training is for. When you train, the more you increase your survivability. That's why we have a school, so we can help people learn psychology, law, and skill in that order. So if you understand how to read body language, READ is the acronym, which stands for recognize, evasive, aggressive, deceptive behavior. You can read body language and know you're in danger before the violent criminal or criminals have a chance to take advantage of you or your family. So that's our goal, is to train people to understand psychology, the law, both civil and criminal. So you understand the law, the legal ramifications of action and action, right, legally, right? And then also understanding tactically how to either escape, control, or immobilize threat.
Yeah.
So example, if someone grabs your wrist and they're trying to hold you against your will, instead of fighting this person and punching them, watch this, hold tight.
Okay.
So if I try to pull hand, it's not coming free.
Yep.
If we come right here, it comes right out.
Again, with the thumb, it's all about the position.
Biomechanics. So if I hold here, you open your hand and just go over the top in a circle. Yes, it comes right out.
Oh, nice. Wish I knew that growing up with my brother.
Yes, it works on brothers and you don't get in trouble.
Dale, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Invaluable information. We'll be right back.